And I ain't gonna front, man. I think after episode 3, in terms of Victor, that $2,000 a week may not sound too shabby. Like, we're only 3 episodes in, and so far this has been my favorite one. But out of these 3 episodes, like, Victor like saved the Penguin's life 2 out of the 3 episodes. Hey, what's going on, folks? Another episode of Ryan Reviews Everything, and let's just straight into it. I am talking about the latest episode of The Penguin, and I'll tell you like this, man. I was kind of indifferent about Victor. Yeah, he's like, seems, baby face. He seems not innocent necessarily, but, he seems like he's just misunderstood. You have sympathy for him, but I felt indifferent for him at first within the first 2 episodes. After seeing Victor's backstory, I definitely am rooting for Victor now. Just after just his whole role in this entire episode, it really has definitely won me over in terms of Victor. So this goes without saying, definitely some spoiler alerts. I may not go step by step, scene by scene with this recap. I may even do, just go by characters. And with that being said, definitely going to start with Victor Aguilar's character. We definitely see, the flashback of what his life was like before Riddler destroyed the flood, the bridge and caused the floodgates to come through. And yeah, man, he just had like a nice average, somewhat middle class, low class type of life, just living in an apartment with his family and so forth. And just after I thought about it, just analyzing it, I definitely realized, it kind of gelled together why he decided to ultimately stick with the Penguin. I'll get to that in a minute. We definitely see in the beginning when he's talking to his father, he looks up to his father, clearly has respect for his father, but he notices stuff like, you notice like he mentioned stuff like, you should ask such and such for a raise because you do a lot, as he's coming back with like special parts to help his father out. And his father was like just content with just his everyday life as a mechanic and, and his passion for cooking. But I definitely, I ain't going to jump around this part. I definitely feel like that moment when he's, trying to nudge his father to ask for a raise, and then, combined with him just like having that split decision to whether go with his girlfriend or stay in Gotham. I think when he's looking at his girlfriend going that bus, he's like, you know what am I going to do if I roll with this girl out there to LA? I at least have an opportunity to be the man in terms of crime, under the Penguin, and hey, make money, possibly make a better living for myself as opposed to just the honest working man. And also there's that conversation he had, I believe it was over dinner. They're at the fancy restaurant, and the Penguin yet again is like giving him kind of like a somewhat motivational speech, talking about, America really wasn't meant for the honest, hardworking man. Your father was a mechanic. He should have been living the dream. Instead, he died, with nothing to really leave behind to you. So, America's a hustle. You got to hustle if you want to get what you want. So I really felt like all that, really played a factor in that final moment when he could have possibly lived happily ever after in LA. But like again, it's like, what is he going to do if he goes to LA with this girl with no type of, high paying job? He, may not have any type of skills. He's only 17. It would have been kind of back to the drawing board in terms of living like a hard life where, even though it's stressful and dangerous as hell, he felt like he had a better chance of making a living, just doing this thing with, not Victor, but doing this thing with the Penguin. And I ain't gonna front, man. I think after episode 3, in terms of Victor, that $2,000 a week may not sound too shabby. Like, we're only 3 episodes in, and so far this has been my favorite one. But out of these 3 episodes, like, Victor like saved the Penguin's life 2 out of the 3 episodes. Saved his life in episode 1, saved his life again in episode 3. Granted, he slipped up in episode 2, 2 out of 3 ain't bad in this case. Some say best out of 3. That's winning a series in some sports. So hey, you know, Victor has overall proved to be a pretty solid dude. I also felt bad about what Victor was going through with the party. Clearly, there's loud noises and so forth, and he has like an episode of like, I guess PTSD is the best way I could describe it. He's dropping drugs. He's on the floor, borderline having a panic attack until the showgirl or escort, whatever you call it, until Roxy snaps him out of it. So he's going through a lot, but I definitely feels like this was a pivotal moment in Victor's life, and I feel like he chose where he wanted to go, and so I feel like there shouldn't be any more risks of splitting with the Penguin at this point. And also getting to the Penguin, of course we see in the beginning he's teamed up with Sofia. They're trying to move this drug called Bliss. I guess it's kind of like ecstasy or some type of party drug, if you will. So they're definitely making their rounds and stuff like that. I thought it was very smooth how they flipped Vidi in this particular case, catching him with Luca's wife. But just to tie in with Victor, I feel like in this business you gotta be you gotta have some type of ego, you gotta have some type of pride, you gotta show that you're tough and not soft. I really feel like the Penguin definitely would have preferred Victor to stay, but because of that whole machismo and this gangster crime business, he ain't feel like he could show that soft side. So instead he gives him like this tough speech about, hey, go ahead, I don't need you, this and the third, whatever the case is. I ain't holding your hostage, what you doing here? I feel like that was just out of, almost like some type of, method to just protect his emotions, to protect his feelings. And even if you see, once Victor decides to walk out the club or leave, he's looking sad as hell at the bar, like with his drink in his hand, like he's in deep thought. So, and also, I am really curious. I'm thinking in episode 4 they're going to really get into the past of how, in the specifics of how the Penguin possibly screwed over Sofia, because that was kind of a recurring theme. You see Vidi bring that up, and Sofia brought it up a couple of times, and then of course, even at the club or after the club, after they closed the deal with the Triads, the Penguin is admitting, yeah, okay, maybe I screwed you over a little bit, but what you expect, he was in Arkham, this and the third, whatever the case is. But that relationship is interesting. I feel like Sofia doesn't trust him, but at the same token, she does realize the type of value that or the type of skill that Penguin has. So it's like, I don't trust you, but I still reluctantly feel like I have to work with you to my benefit. And speaking of relationships, I really feel like another reason why the Penguin was so upset, I really felt like he could relate or bond with Victor because they're both kind of looked down upon because of some of their flaws. The Penguin literally walks like a penguin, of course, and then you have Victor with this stuttering, this speech impediment. So I feel like those type of things is what makes the Penguin kind of relate to Victor. Like I think a great example of that is at the restaurant. You see Victor struggling with the menu. The waiter thought it was being helpful by finishing Victor's sentence. And almost immediately, the Penguin sticks up for Victor. Like, hey, my man was talking, let him finish this and the third. And he even encouraged Victor, hey, you need to start speaking up for yourself when people try to cut you off and let them know you're going to finish your thought. So I thought that was cool. I don't know, it's kind of like this play uncle, play nephew type of vibe I get. Like, Penguin trying to take this young dude under his arm and teach him the game, right? So, and also speaking of relationships, I really want to see what that relationship looks like with Sofia. Now that at the tail end of the episode, we see the Penguin just jet out, leave Sofia behind. Of course, I feel like Sofia is such a main character, or one of the main characters. I don't see her dying. Maybe she gets kidnapped by the Maronis, but I don't see her dying right there in the back alley of some club, especially after all that melee that just happened thanks to Victor saving Penguin's life. But now I feel like the Penguin's jig is up. The Maronis you know, like I said, they've been watching him. They want to get Penguin out of here. I feel like Sophia is clearly wanting to get the Penguin out of here now. And therefore, the Falcons may want to get the. You know, I feel like it's literally the Penguin and Victor against the world, or at least the Gotham crime world at this point. So it'll be definitely interesting. So I hope we really get more progress to the story. If you stayed around for the previews, it kind of looks like we're going to get like the next episode definitely is going to dive into Sophia's past. Hopefully it's not one of those episodes where the entire episode is about her past. I would really like to see what's Sophia's reaction now that the Penguin dipped out on. I want to see how this story plays out. So let me know what you thought of this episode. Love it or hate it, that's my opinion. Peace.